miss The Devil Wears Prada 2 in cinemas.
Miranda, hi.
Pull yourself together. We have work to do. And by we, I mean you.
Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci are back.
Oh-de-da.
On April 30.
Look what TJ Maxx dragged in.
I am the new features editor at Runway.
No, you are not.
Icons reign forever.
Cheers. Wait. I hope to God that's not what you're wearing to the dinner. That's all.
Get tickets now. The Devil Wears Prada 2. Only in cinemas April 30. Directed by David Frankel.
This podcast is brought to you by Australia's LGBTQIA+ community media organisation, Joy.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of the land, the Boonwurrung people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging, and Aboriginal people who are listening. We acknowledge that sovereignty was never ceded.
Welcome to Still Here, Still Queer, the show that celebrates the fierce, funny, and fabulous lives of our rainbow elders. Each week we share stories, music, and conversations that honour our rich history, challenge ageism, and spark connection across generations. Whether you're a proud elder, a curious ally, or just here for the glitter and wisdom, welcome. We're still here, still queer, and we're not going anywhere.
Hello. It's Sunday. We're still in March, just barely hanging on.
Yeah.
Today, it's all about feet.
It is.
Do tell.
Feet. Absolutely. All about feet. And we have a wonderful guest in tonight, Sam Turner, who is a podiatrist and also a director at 3 health centres, which can be found by searching for Life Performance. Welcome, Sam.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me, Pete. Thanks, Jill. Is that okay?
Jill? Yeah, Jill? You can Jill away, darling. Go for it.
Well, thank you for having me. It's been great to come in here. It's such a wonderful venue.
Yeah, it is. The Pride Centre is amazing. You've never been here before.
No, first time. So I don't venture past the western suburbs a lot, but this is utterly incredible.
As you were walking around, I was noticing that you were just looking up in the air with your mouth agape, looking at the Pride Centre. It's amazing. It's an extraordinary building, really. We're lucky to have it, aren't we?
I think so.
Yeah.
And we're probably its biggest resident.
I think so.
Yeah,
we Health are upstairs and a few other.
Yeah, we love it. We have view here. We're used to, when we do radio, not having windows and getting a studio tan, but you can look out on what looks like a forest there in St Kilda.
Yeah.
Now, you are a podiatrist.
Yes.
Some people think that means looking after children, but
no, definitely feet.
Yeah.
You don't want me looking after your kids if there's something going wrong. Not at all.
Have you ever had that mistake happen?
Too many times.
Really? They thought you were a pediatrician, but no.
No, too many times. We do treat kids, but kids' foot problems, not kids in itself.
So I'm going to ask, before you get into the order of the day, what made you choose feet?
Ooh, good question.
Yes.
Short answer or long answer?
Oh, I don't know. What is it interesting? Is the long answer interesting?
No.
All right, go short.
No, I fell into podiatry because I actually started off making artificial limbs and braces. And for the technical term is called prosthetics and orthotics. But I got bored of that quite easily. It's pretty much a pharmacy-based type of profession. Here's your script. Go make this.
Go make this. What were you making?
Go make an artificial leg, or go make a splint for, say, someone who has post-polio or has stroke. So drop forward to everything. You've probably seen people with those weird actual splints. That was my original profession. And I promise I'll make this quick, but because there was not many jobs here in Australia at the time, I graduated post-GFC.
Got you.
So I had to go overseas. And I was working in Hamilton over in New Zealand, and I was sitting in this room and I went, I'm bored.
Okay.
I'm also missing home, and because I've now met my now partner and wife, before I left, I was homesick.
Right.
The only way for me to get out of a contract was to go back and study.
I see.
And I went, what's the easiest way? That's not going to cost me a fortune in HEX. What's going to be there? I'm doing a lot with feet. I'm dealing a lot with diabetics.
Yes.
So simplest thing was podiatry. And I came back, studied as a mature age person, and better part of a decade now, I'm now a podiatrist.
And do you love it? Because it sounds like it was just more of an opportunity at the point. It wasn't like, I love feet, I'm going to get into feet. But how do you feel about them now?
Oh, I still love-hate relationship with... But no, I utterly love the profession, and it's one of these ones where you can do so much, and it's just not toenails and granny glitter and all that type of thing. It's more about getting people into active and healthy aging. It's about being able to keep people moving. A lot I will deal with is footwear. I will deal with exercise prescription.
Yes.
I do a lot of falls and balance type work. So when you think about just going to see your regular podiatrist, it's a lot of, I'll go in and get my nails
clipped or arches for your shoes. People think about that, don't they? Getting those insoles. But it's so much more.
It is. And my basis at the moment is sports podiatry. So I'm currently working for the Kangaroos in the AFL.
Kangaroos need shoes too.
They definitely do. Big feet.
Boots as well, that maybe we'll kick goals sometime.
Still here, still queer, breaking down the intergenerational barriers with laughter and insight.
And you are on Still Here, Still Queer. And the next song's playing.
Don't mind me. Don't mind me. As you were, darling.
We wanted to ask a podiatrist in to talk about our feet because they sit in the bottom of our legs down there, as most people know, but most people forget them. They just walk on them and treat them very badly.
We expect them to do their job, don't we?
We do. Yeah. And when they start stopping to do their job, everyone goes, oh my God, what happens? What's wrong with them?
Yes. Yeah.
So the first question is, why should we care for them, and how early should we start caring for our feet?
Ooh, that's a really good question. With my bias, it would be, well, earlier than later. The big part is, as you said, once things start going wrong, we start complaining about them. And often it can be quite sinister in some cases, or like in terms of people with diabetes, they may develop pretty nasty complications where they would go from a sense of having feeling to actually losing it. It's what we call neuropathy. And that can lead to some pretty sinister type of complications. And
we can lose your foot, can't you?
Yeah, you lose the ability to count to 10.
What do you mean? Oh, I see. You got no toes. A diatrist.
You got that one? But it's obviously another thing. We find that with people who live in pain, especially with foot pain, we find that the quality of life can actually decrease as well. So if you just walk around with something quite miserable within your foot, like you've got like sore arches, or if you do have a corn or a callus, and you go, what do I do? And you can actually change your whole well-being from being this person who's in pain constantly.
Also, if you're limping, you're going to be putting your back out.
So many things. So,
absolutely. And I went to Sam. Sam is my podiatrist. I went there because I had a corn. And it was on the side of my foot, and I was about to go off to a holiday in Japan, and I was going to walk everywhere. And I didn't want the pain in my foot.
What is a corn?
It was instantaneous when he took it out.
Instantaneous relief.
It all went.
What is it?
So I was wedded then. Oh, not wedded, but
well, we haven't left each other for 2 years,
no,
so we've done quite well. But yeah, so a corn is just like a callus, but it forms in a really focal area. So generally over a bony prominence. So think the ball of your foot or the outside of your foot, or even in between your toes. I know that seems really gross, but it comes from your body's own adaptive process to try and protect itself. So it's going, I don't trust what's happening here.
Yes.
It starts rubbing and your skin starts to change.
Oh.
So I know we're talking about great stuff on a Sunday night.
But you can just get rid of it.
So you can in most cases. So it's actually mechanical. It comes from the way we move. It comes from shoes. It comes from lots of different things.
Right.
So it's quite environmental. So yes, we can get rid of it, and it's quite simple. We use a scalpel and we do cut it out. We try and be incredibly safe and sterile. But the whole part is, if we don't resolve the underlying causes of it, it will keep on coming back. And that's probably one of the big myths that I start to say, I went to someone, they cut it out, but it came back. And you go, yeah, no kidding. You haven't changed your pointy little stilettos. Or you're still wearing shoes that are 2 sizes too small for you. Or you're not even caring for something. Like, it's been building up over time. They're all the big things that we start to have a look at. So that's a really long way to say it's a really annoying bit of hard skin.
But it can cause so much damage, as you say, because if you're on it all the time, it's just going to get worse. That's why you see lesbians. One of our epithets is women who wear comfortable shoes. Look at these babies.
What have we got?
I'm not getting any corns or calluses with them.
Let me describe them. They're red and white sneakers, and the bottoms are red and the front's red velour.
But they're wide and they're cushioned. They're not pinching.
And
they look very comfortable.
They fit.
And that's probably a big thing, is most people, most of the issues I'll see, and we'll have a bit of a blanket statement here, is that most people who come in with foot issues or pain, we start with the shoes. Most people aren't wearing a shoe that fits them. It doesn't bend in the right place. It doesn't adhere in the right spot. So if you can't do up your laces, your foot moves. Or if it doesn't bend in the right spot, it adds increased pressure to other parts. So your body has to adapt. And
is this more a women thing or a man thing, or is it 50-50?
This really doesn't have anything based on sex. So traditionally, it is more women.
Yes.
With obviously tighter fitting shoes that try and make the foot look small.
Yes.
But we're finding this a lot more these days with men coming through. You think about the Aquila shoes or the nice Italian leather loafers that are, again, to make your foot look smaller.
Skinny, but maybe long. Yes, we're not meant to have pointed feet, are we?
No. No, I'm wearing the Birkenstocks tonight.
Oh, yeah?
I have my feet nice and open But they're the things, traditionally our footwear is based on, not to get into gender or sex type thing, but it is based on a size 9 Caucasian male foot. And that's quite interesting. So that's what the international standard is.
Gosh.
So when we're starting to think about footwear, it's based off this. So I do a lot with women's soccer players and Aussie rules footballers. And the big part is it comes back to this different part where I have a bit of a rant that football boots are both sexist and racist because they're, again, built on a size 9 male foot and it doesn't capture the whole demographic.
So if the shoe's bigger, it's not bending in the wrong place. They've just made it a bit longer or something. So it's actually not still then tailored for a bigger foot.
Correct.
Wow. I'd never thought of that.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I'm a size 11 male. So that would be, it's just an extension of a 9.
It is, and it just starts to build it out, and obviously even with length, but also with width.
Yes.
So it becomes quite interesting, and especially with women's footwear, there's a whole part of taking a male foot and that male last and just essentially shrinking it and pinking it.
Wow.
So it's quite interesting once you start to delve into all these little bits where you go, okay, still the international standard for sample is a size 9 male foot.
That's very interesting.
Wow.
Somebody's written in, Grant says, as a person with severe flat deformity, because I'd actually like to hear a bit more about flat feet, the only solution from the podiatrist, obviously he wasn't happy with the solution, was arch supports that he was selling. Is that the only thing you can really do for flat feet?
Ooh, it's a good question. So I probably can't give away too much medical advice with this, but there's lots of things you can do. So it's not about correcting flat feet. It's not something that's going to keep you out of the armed services or stopping you from conscripting. That we think flat feet is like anything else. It's a wonderful human variant.
Okay.
And most of us will be on a spectrum of flat-footedness. You can have big pancake-type feet that are highly mobile to incredibly high-arched feet.
Yes.
And it comes down to the individual. So it comes down to how strong...
So you're saying there's actually nothing wrong with having flat feet?
No.
It's not a deformity?
No. And by treating it is an interesting one, without pain, without dysfunction, without all the added bits which would make someone come in. It was the whole thing of probably my grandparents' generation. Oh, you've got flat feet.
Yes.
You must get these horrible, hard inner soles to correct it. We're not correcting anything.
So what should you do? Is it just generally not a painful condition or?
No. So probably a really key point is if you have a look at, say, some of the higher level marathon runners.
Yeah.
And what will happen is you'll have a look when their foot hits the ground. It is the flattest you would ever see.
but they're able to run 42.1 kilometers in pretty much close to 2 hours. And they've got flat feet with no inner soles, just a running shoe.
So where is this whole myth about flat feet being like you couldn't go to the army or if you got flat feet? Where did it come from?
To be honest, I don't really know, but it comes down to probably a bit of a human thing where we want to have some form of normal variance. We want it to be plumb. We want it to be nice, straight up and down.
So it's more of a taste dictation type thing.
Does it affect the way you stand if you've got flat feet, or is it just...
It's an interesting bow. I'm probably going to upset a lot of chiropractors. But when we talk about normal human alignment, what is normal? When we talk about flat foot, you probably heard the term pronation. I'm a pronator, which means my foot rolls in.
Yes.
But I hate to tell you, but all of us pronate.
Okay.
All of us supinate. It's just a natural movement. And the other part is we don't have a spot where we can start to measure this from.
Got you.
Because Pete's pronation is different to your pronation, which is different to my pronation.
So there's not a standard way that we should all aspire to. In fact, that's another way to keep us upset and spending money or thinking there's something wrong with us.
And that's probably the big thing where we start to talk about flat feet. And going back to this question, like there are people who do have a deformity. And yes, we do need to use orthoses. We do need to use footwear. But it's also about how do we make better use of someone's own body? Are we going to this part where we fall back into a feedback of decreasing someone's sovereignty or autonomy?
Yeah.
Do we get them moving? Do we try and strengthen? Do we try and work with muscles? Do we work on load management? So are they trying to do too much too soon?
Got you.
By putting an inert bit of plastic or foam in someone's shoe, it's just a bit of plastic or foam. It's nothing until you put it into a footwear and someone makes it work.
Still here, still queer, rainbowing out the wrinkles.
On your feet today, because that's what it's all about. It's turning into a fascinating show with Sam Turner, podiatrist. Pete and I are learning some incredible stuff. Don't worry about your flat feet. They're fine.
Yes.
Yeah.
Aren't they?
That's something I've learned. And the shoes, based on a size 9.
One size fits all, or does it?
Yeah. And I wanted to ask about high heels, stilettos. People wandering around in these stilettos in our community too, a lot of them.
Yeah.
And their feet don't look at all comfortable in those things. Are they good for your feet? Or
no?
Only when you're young?
Definitely not. But it doesn't mean that you can't have fun. And this is probably the big part. So stilettos are, or weapons of mass destruction. They're pretty nasty type things, especially the older. Where was it? There was a brand that used to do 7-inch stilettos, which were disgusting. Steve Madden. And what would happen is they were just built to be on the ball of your foot into this really narrow toe box. And if you don't know what a toe box is, it's the front of the shoe where your toes go in. And they would squish it and your toes would be up. And you'd also be 3 to 4 inches in the air. So this would lead to your calves having to work at a really shortened position. But if you speak to some people who were in stilettos or high heels for a long period of time, they adapted to it. And they could probably run 100 meters down Burke Street faster than most Olympic runners.
What?
But it comes down to a big part. And they're not the best things at all. But it does mean that you can't have fun.
Who invented them?
Oh, I like this one. It actually was invented in the 16 or 1700s as a way for butchers to keep out of the muck.
So butchers. Curious.
I love
Imagine
that.
butchers like in their big white aprons and their stilettos.
Stilettos.
Yeah, there you go. I'm sure.
Blood all over the...
They would
and
look
the sawdust.
Yeah.
Sawdust. They have the sawdust on the floor.
So, yeah, that is such an interesting one to have a look at it, how it's such change from often a perception of femininity to something that was so masculine at that same point. But there's probably another further bit where Louboutins and some of the crepe soles where you'd see the wonderful red.
Yes.
This actually comes from the French court. So it was a way of showing someone's prestige in court by having the soles of their shoes painted in a different colour. So
they'd have to be high then for you to actually be able to see the soles, wouldn't you? You'd have to be heels.
And this is where it comes from. So red was often seen within French royalty of being under the sole of the shoe, that they can start to know, oh, that person's of noble stature.
Wow.
Then this person, if it was purple, it was of a different house. Then if it was blue, it was a different one, or it was white. So there's a little bit of history on high heels. But again, short answer, they are horrible for your feet.
Yes.
But you're still allowed to have a little bit of fun. And
don't wear them. You ration yourself.
So you can go to the races and sink into the mud with them.
That's a busy
the
time of the year.
It is. Is it a busy time for you?
So a lot of ankle injuries, but sometimes in the pre of the Melbourne Cup, because people want to come in and have nice looking feet. So they want to have all the bits of skin, hard skin shaved off. They want to have everything looking nice.
Yes.
But then post Melbourne Cup, it's often a lot of
and the injuries come in.
Injuries and post inebriated antics. So yeah, a lot of moon boots go out.
Come in stilettos, go out in moon boots.
Yes. So
as we get older, though, our feet deteriorate a bit, and we really need them to be held. And many older people can't actually reach their feet, I think. Is that true?
So that's true. I had a mentor who once said, the older you get, the shorter your arms become and the further the ground is away.
Yeah.
So it's probably, I'm not there yet, but I tell you what, I feel it most mornings that I'm starting to become stiffer and stiffer. But these are really important things. Our bodies do change as we do get older. And my favourite unit at uni was gerontology. So having a look at how we age and how we start to adapt to these parts. Like, we don't have the original building blocks. So our knees start to change. We have osteoarthritis, so in hips and backs, but our skin changes as well. It's not as elastic as it once was. In our foot, we have these wonderful fat pads under our heels and the ball of our foot. And we actually find that these will start to shift and become thin and start to move. And that's can be leading to a couple of causes, say heel pain or ball of the foot pain, where the bones become a little bit more exposed because our bones weren't made to be walked on. And this is what we have this big...
I can feel a bit of that. And also, Shane from Wodonga, thank you, says, I developed foot pain and COVID hindered me getting it assessed properly. It turned out to be heel pad syndrome, but I left it too long and it turned into nerve pain and it affects every aspect of my life. That's a very sad story.
Doesn't sound like fun. And that was, COVID was probably a pretty hard time. And we noticed a lot of people who...
Because you weren't essential, or were you?
We were pseudo-essential. We were the last people thought about when they would do all the announcements.
Got you.
Sunday night, hospital, schools,
vets,
coffee shops, vets. Then we'd do the next thing. Then it would be construction. Then it would be office workers. Then somewhere on Wednesday, allied health.
Yeah.
Right.
Private allied health. Continue what you have to do. And it was quite interesting. So we would wait for Sunday every week and we wouldn't know what was happening. So we just continued to rock up to work and we would have full PPE. So it would be an N95 mask, goggles. So a lot of the people I now treat, I didn't see their face for nearly 3 to 4 years.
Yeah. It was a strange time.
It was. And it was quite interesting. And I'm very sorry for Shane up in Wodonga. But the big part with this was it was either two camps. People would come in and do action things about their health and their feet because it was the only thing that you could do leaving the house.
I got you.
Or we had people who were quite scared to actually look after their bodies and their health. Because if I went to a doctor, if I went to my physio, or if I went to my podiatrist, what if I got sick? And we found that there was actually a higher rate. There was a great study on this about higher rates of ulceration and amputation for diabetics.
Yes.
Post-COVID.
Because they were more afraid of getting COVID than actually losing their feet.
And let's talk about diabetes as well, because that's feet are a really important part of that, although people think blood sugars and all that sort of stuff. But feet are also a very important part of what happens to people.
And it's pretty true. And I'll take my bias with this, but majority of complications will happen in the lower limb. So we think eyes, we think blood sugars, we think heart. But there's a great stat out there, and I don't want to misquote it, but majority of complications will happen below the knee.
With diabetes?
Okay. Which is pretty scary.
Yeah.
And diabetes is a nasty disease. And it's often a bit of a silent disease, and we don't notice it until things start going wrong.
And of course, there's diabetes type 2 and type 1. They might be different as well. I'm not sure, but you might know.
And
type 2 definitely affects your feet.
And it's on the rise, and we're finding a lot of the podiatry workers, and a lot of people have probably heard of an EPC or a care plan, that you get a subsidy from the government to come in. Podiatry is number one in terms of government spending with looking after people with diabetes.
Okay.
Which is quite interesting. So it's podiatry, daylight, nighttime, then it's the next one, which is physio. And it's several, like tens of millions of dollars in between there. And this is quite interesting to see how many people are accessing services just for diabetes alone.
Yeah, wow. And how big a percentage of what you do would you say, how many of your patients are diabetics?
Well, it's changed a lot since moving into sport.
Yes.
But so initially I would see maybe 70% of my people were diabetic. And that's what podiatry was. And this is what we're starting to see a lot in private practice, is a lot more people with diabetes coming through, but also now being encouraged to come through from their doctors. Like, it's not too often now that I hear, I was diagnosed 5 years ago.
So they come and see you before they've even really got problems with their feet sometimes?
Correct. So the big part is prevention is often better than cure.
How can you prevent it when you've got diabetes? How can you prevent what happens to your feet?
So which is fantastic. So we get people to actually spend time to look at their feet. So coming back to Pete's thing of the body starting to change, one of the hardest things is for people to actually get down there and say a simple thing of putting your socks on.
Yeah.
If you lose that ability, you're not actually having that chance to check, there's a bump there that wasn't there yesterday. Or why do I have blood in my sock? And often we'll find that people will lose that ability. Then they'll come in and they might have an ulcer or a nasty
So it's already quite advanced. Because they can't feel it, they don't know.
And that's not every diabetic. No. It's a subset, but there's guidelines. Every person who has a diabetes diagnosis is encouraged to see a podiatrist at least once a year. It's a bit like having your eyes checked. Mm-hmm. So we can set up baselines, and with that we check sensation. We check protective sensation. So the ability to pick up, say, a stone in your shoe or a rub in your sock.
Yeah, of course.
So little things like that.
Little things like that presumably can cause ulcers if they don't feel them.
You're walking around with a stone in your shoe for ages.
And that's the big thing. So that's an interesting one. So this is where we start to look at. And for most people, I have a bit of a thing where I will get them to look after themselves until it becomes feasible not to, or it becomes unsafe for them to start to look after their own toes and nails, because I want to build that autonomy. Because if you can't check your feet, you're not able to look after yourself. You can't start that first layer of protection, which is you caring for your own self.
I'm going to lighten things up slightly with this message from Karen from Launceston. Hi there. Loving the program. I've read that red soles were painted on the soles of cave women. Actually on the feet, I presume. At client get-togethers to let the young men know that they could approach to be taught about the joy of sex.
There you go.
I've not heard that. Have you heard such a thing?
No, I haven't.
It's a fantastic story, though. Still here, still queer, providing fun, insight, and resources for our rainbow elders.
I'll say we've been providing great resources for Sam the Footman.
Yes.
You've really been...
New brand for you.
Sam the Footman. I'll have to put that on the website.
Our resident podiatrist, who knew that there was so much to know about feet, and that stilettos were invented for butchers in the 17th century to keep their feet out of the blood. That's crazy.
And people with white soles of their feet in the cave era.
Yes. So
red soles of their feet.
We've also really focused on the fact that our feet fall apart when we get older. Everything does, but the feet take the brunt, don't they?
They do. And again, like you have to think about how many kilometers that you would have spent. Like you walk around the world 4 times in your lifetime.
Shut up.
Sorry. Is that true? Close enough.
Really?
So if you think about an average person will pretty much get around the globe at least 2 to 3, sometimes 4, even 6 times.
So I'd be all right to put my feet up now.
Off you go.
I tell you
Well,
one
they
thing.
might go off though if you put them up.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Well, lose it.
Yeah, I have got something age-related. I've had for a while. I have one toe that is arthritic.
Ooh.
It took me a while to work out which one because you've got 5 down there and it's got a bit of pain. You're going, is it that one? Is it this one? Doesn't necessarily hurt when I wiggle them, but particularly when it's cold or raining, it's when arthritis often flares up.
You can get the dog down there though.
I've got this one that, it hurts. So if I wear shoes that don't have much support, it hurts more. It feels better when I'm wearing more paddy shoes. Is this a sort of common problem?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. With arthritis in the foot, it's especially around the big toe, it's the 3rd most common site for osteoarthritis in the body. So we think about a lot of hips and knees. The next one is the big toe.
Oh, the big toe.
So, and
didn't know that.
There you go. So there's another little thing for tonight. So yeah, big toe osteoarthritis is quite debilitating. And you're quite correct. With changing different shoes, it may feel better. Doesn't have to necessarily be spongy. For some people, it can be a stiffer soled shoe.
Right.
So pull out the old Doc Martens or the Rocker.
Yeah.
I see a lot of Hokers these days.
Yes, that brand.
That makes my skin crawl.
Oh, why?
They were made for running down hills incredibly fast.
Okay.
And now,
not butchers want anything to do with that, though. No.
And now we're seeing a lot of people who just use them to get around, go to the coffee, go to the shops, which is quite interesting. And sometimes they're prescribed without a lot of thought or nuance behind it.
Oh, so they weren't invented as a podiatrist's dream.
No. And often they're prescribed as a cure-all or an elixir for all foot pain.
Yes.
But there's lots of people out there who actually don't like them. But in terms of, say, some brands where we have prescriptions, where we want something that has a stiffer toe, like a stiffer 4-foot angle, lots of cushioning, lots of padding, some of these shoes can be now 4.5 centimeters thick. So if you think about that.
Is that a good thing?
Depends.
Okay.
Depends. So if you're at a falls risk,
yes,
so which does happen as we age.
Yeah.
If you
Definitely.
don't have the muscle strength, okay, which is another thing that happens as we age. I know it's all great so far. But then you don't have this ability to move, so the joints can't respond to this. You may actually be putting this person at a higher risk of falls.
Oh.
And a little bit more detrimental. So this is where it
isn't just more padding's good.
No. It comes down to the whole thing. There's no such thing as a bad shoe.
Oh gosh, apart from stilettos.
Yeah. And we'll put a couple of caveats and a couple of asterisks on this.
Yeah.
But when we start to think about most of the consumer footwear, there's no such thing as a bad shoe. It's just not the right shoe for you.
Got you.
If that makes sense.
I used to like wearing Vans or those sort of old basketball-y ones,
Converse,
Chuck Taylors, yeah.
But they are flat. My toe's not going to like that. They don't like that.
No.
Okay.
So it can come down to maybe we need something that's a bit stiffer, or in your case, it may be a little bit more cushioning.
Got you.
So like your wonderful red pair that you have on at the moment. But for others, it may be different parts. And what we're finding, there's a couple of fantastic Melbourne brands in particular that are doing really fun orthopedic shoes. So
those two words not usually put together, are they? Fun orthopedic shoes.
No, they're not.
So things are looking up.
Yeah, that's right.
They are. They're not as ugly and hideous and clodhopper-ish that you used to see. It's not like what your nan would have because they were comfortable.
Yeah.
But now they're also comfortable and quite aesthetically pleasing.
Do they cost an arm and a leg and a foot?
Yes, like most orthopedic shoes, they do.
Got you.
Because they're individually made, I assume.
No, not these ones.
Okay.
So they are mass-produced and they do work on principles of having enough width and enough volume for someone's foot shape, whereas there still is actually there's not as many cobblers or shoemakers as there once was. There was ones that were in Paran at one stage.
And they tailor-made shoes, did they?
Yeah, bespoke shoes. They were amazing. But now, because it's becoming quite harder to manufacture without having such a huge price on these, that it's becoming harder and harder for these wonderful cobblers and bespoke shoemakers to stay afloat.
I have lots of friends who wear Crocs.
Is that a croc?
Tell me about them. Are they a Croc?
Yeah. So
he's rolling his eyes.
They say they're good on your feet. I couldn't work out why you want a piece of plastic on your foot, but that
depends. Not as your same thing. We'll put them in the stiletto basket.
Okay.
So they're incredibly comfortable, and this is where people start to have a look at. And I'm not going to pick on anyone who's wearing Skechers. It comes.
Oh, have I got them on? Yes, I have.
Go on. But it comes. But we'll talk about the majority of people here, where we think about comfort of just having something that's incredibly soft. But when something's incredibly soft, it actually breaks down and wears down a whole lot faster. And going to Crocs, they're okay for certain intended purposes. A protection of yourself going to the pool, or you have to wear them with socks if you're going out with friends. But for your daily type of footwear, they're probably not the best thing. They can actually, say, if we go back to people with reduced sensation, they may actually cause huge amount of blistering. They're just essentially this rubber thing that stays on your foot.
Yeah, like rubber thongs.
Yes, there you go.
Same thing.
So
no Crocs.
You're listening to Still Here, Still Queer, where rainbow elders rule.
That's about it, though, really.
It
Goodness. Flies by when you talk about feet, Sam.
I'm pleased that you found it quite entertaining.
Yeah, it was fascinating.
So much information.
And where do you work from, by the way?
So I'm based out in West Melbourne and North Melbourne at a place called Life Performance Health. I'm part of a team of 4 out there. So with Jake, Kath and Harry. So they're all fantastic podiatrists there, and we absolutely love what we do.
I'm going to come and see you, I think. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Don't miss The Devil Wears Prada 2 in cinemas.
Miranda, hi.
Pull yourself together. We have work to do. And by we, I mean you.
Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt, and Stanley Tucci are back.
Oh, D-Dot.
On April 30.
Look what TJ Maxx dragged in.
I am the new features editor at Runway.
No, you are not.
Icons reign forever.
Cheers. Wait. I hope to God that's not what you're wearing to the dinner. That's all.
Get tickets now. The Devil Wears Prada 2. Only in cinemas April 30. Directed by David Frankel.
This podcast is brought to you by Australia's LGBTQIA+ community media organisation, Joy.